Today we're gonna go and compare the biggest e-commerce store, Amazon, how it looked in 1999 compared to today, what are the key features, what is the hidden button that completely changed their trajectory and made them billions of dollars. Amazon was founded in 1994 and they were focusing on selling books because they were the easiest to ship. If you look at the first iteration of the website, we can see the complete difference to today's websites. But this is not only for Amazon, but this is for all websites. We can see that they have been heavily text-based website, basically without any image. The biggest changes coming to Amazon in its early years were definitely around 1997, because then they become publicly traded companies. So people start buying their stocks, and we can see that from first years, it wasn't as big of a rise. It was quite steady, to say at least. But there were some changes done in 1999 that completely changed the trajectory of this company. And this is what we are going to be looking at right now, because this was the height of .com bubble. And as we can see later on, it completely crashed, basically nearly wiping up complete Amazon. So what happened in there? What were the design choices that attributed to this growth as well? If you look at the snapshot from October 13, 1999, this gives us an idea how those websites look back in the time. We can see they are still heavily focused on books. And in terms of new categories, they have been adding a lot of them in this time. That's also why their stock kept rising a lot. But we can see still books number one, then music, video, electronics, toys and games, auctions, free e-cards, Z-shops, and more. Also, what's very interesting compared to today's website is that they are still trying to get people to sell items on Amazon actively on their landing page. In modern landing pages, you will not see that anywhere. If we go into incognito mode, we can see there is no way for us to know that we can actually go and create a listing in there and start advertising. This has been taken completely away from our eyes pretty much. And then you can see it still. The top bar is dominated by potential categories that we can go and shop, which is duplicate of what we have already inside here. And the search bar itself, we can see it's very little inside here, very insignificant. So pretty much how is it done now is we are getting rid of this, and Amazon, what they did, they put the search bar inside here. So they moved it in here and they kept all of this area in here just for the advertising purposes. So if we come here into incognito mode to see the Amazon website without any cookies or stuff like that, this is how first time visitor would go and see it. You can see once again, now big focus is on search, and they're directly showing you the products inside here. They're not splitting it that much into any other stuff, but it's very clean, and you can also see how much images there are currently compared to the past version in there. These have been also caused because the internet speeds back in the day, they were fairly slow, and they were not able to support so many images. But what is very interesting actually is that if we take a look at some estimates from 1999 to 2025, we can see how massively different the complete landscape was. So the estimated e-commerce sales, and this is only for the US, for year 1999 were $15 billion a year. Now this might sound like a lot of money, but today it is between 1.5 and $2 trillion a year, which is such a huge jump. And the percentage of retail sales done in 1999 are around 0.5% compared to today, where it's nearly over 25%. So we can see now how much more easier it is for people to sell online, but also for people to buy online. There is already trust being built. And one of the most shocking parts for me was the average online spending per household. In 1999, it is estimated that it was just around $125 to $200, whereas today the average household is spending every single year between $8,000 to $10,000. And also there were many more stuff like this. For example, the delivery speed. Back in the days, it was between 5 to even 10 days and nobody was complaining. And this is such a big difference compared to today because of how they had to go and approach this. So if we go and look at some categories, I chose toys for grown-ups. Now we'll see the subcategories inside here. You can see how different it is in here. It's more images in here, and Amazon is giving up few options in here. So the biggest one in here is the number of months or years to go and suggest who is it for. There are no other filters inside here, for example, filtering for price or something different. Nothing is available to us, okay? We can just go and shop by age. So here I will go and shop for adults. So I will pretty much come inside here and click on grown-ups to go and see what they will show us. And specifically, I will go and choose Lego because this is something that I already have preloaded. And here we can see the most popular option in here, which is very, very simple. And you cannot even scroll that much. It's really that simple. So I will go and choose a specific product. I decided to go for this space stimulation station. And this is the product page from 1999. You can see how drastically different it looks compared to today. I'll go and break it down within the biggest changes. So if we come inside here, we can see, I'll try to zoom in, make it bigger. The image is not as prominent, but the most important part for me, and pretty surprising starting from top, is actually the text of this listing. We can see how simple it actually is. Well, I decided to go and look for something similar currently listed on Amazon, and you can see how drastically different it is. It's because of the search term optimization they are trying to do, and also to make it easier to rank when somebody is searching in a search bar for something. So it's not only called something like this space simulation station. No. It's actually called a Lego City Interstellar Spaceship Toy for Kids, Creative Play Space Toy, a building set with spacecraft model, drone, and astronaut figure. Building toys for boys, girls, and kids ages 6 and up. 60430. So we can see how different this is. But now let's try this fun experiment. I will show you the listing page without images, and I want you to tell me what first things you're gonna see on that website. So you don't know what am I gonna show you, just focus on the first thing that will go and pop into your head. So I will go and show it without image. And I'm gonna assume that the majority of you are looking at add to cart and buy now button. But now let's try this with the 1999 version. I'm gonna show it to you. And you can see it's a little bit more all over the place. Still, probably a lot of people would come inside here. But this is what I was actually mentioning. This is super, super important to understand. It's 1999. People still need to be convinced that it's okay to put your credit card information online. And that's why so many of these relatively valuable, the most valuable real estate is dedicated to basically these guarantees and showing you that it is actually safe in here. And the add to shopping cart button is not as big in here. And we also have add to my wish list button. And this is where the magic button is missing. You can see, because in 1999 and in all 90s and early 2000s, Amazon, they didn't have the direct option to buy now button in here. It was not existent. You had to go and only click on add to shopping cart and then go to shopping cart and check out from there. But what this will be causing is a lot of started checkouts, but they will never be finished because people can get distracted and do something different. Whereas if we come here now and we want to buy this, we have option to buy now. So we can directly go and buy it. And shortening this time period when people are making the purchase can have massive effects on the revenue that they are generating. This can be billions and billions and billions of dollars for them. And this is something that came to Amazon only later. But also, very interestingly is, this add to my wish list. It had been popular in the past, and a lot of websites had actually implemented this. But if you look at it now, the wishlist is no longer existent in its current form. We still have this option inside here that is add to list, but it's more generic and it's definitely not popping up that much. And just ask yourself, what was the last time you actually used it? They are really combining it in terms of wish list with the traditional shopping list. And Amazon knows they don't want you to put that much stuff in wish list. They have their wedding repository or whatever that is, but they want you to go and buy now. And this is clearly communicated also with the focus on add to cart and buy now options inside here. Also, we can see that overall the product, they have some images in here obviously, but you need to go and check them. You cannot zoom on them. And you have also some interesting stuff. For example, you have the age range, which was one of the biggest and pretty much the only filter that you could use in these scenarios. But also take a look at related products. This is very interesting because those are statically related products. They are not updated based on your cookies, your history of Amazon, what you have watched previously, or what people are buying together. I think we have it down here, but it's not in any way adjusted to your specific needs. And we can see it's not even their focus. You would need to go and either click on this, and I personally, even now in 2025, I'm not sure if I click on this and add this to my shopping cart, if it's gonna add both things or even only one, and I need to go and click on this to add it separately to my cart. So this could be a relatively confusing experience. Whereas now we can see it's completely different. We can go and buy all three things together. They're frequently bought together. We have also some sponsored stuff, which was not existent at all back in the Amazon. This came in option in around 2012 when Amazon Marketing Services was introduced. And now it generates nearly $1 billion for people bidding on specific positions or where else their ads or their products can be actually shown. So this is completely new business that Amazon unlocked pretty much with just sponsored content, which is not as visible as you may think. But in here, you have also deals on related products. So you can see how much upselling is going on currently with Amazon in here. But in the past, it wasn't the case. One thing that they have, maybe even better than we have today, is the multi-average customer rating. Now, if you look at the customer rating for this specific toy, we can see it's only one rating. But in past, you have been able to go and split it into multiple categories that Amazon put into specific category like toys for grown-ups. So you have fun, educational, and durability. And you can see the differences in those categories, which is pretty interesting and a relatively cool feature. I have to admit that it might be a little bit overwhelming for people, and it's clear that Amazon is trying to go and make it as easy for possible to go review it without any disturbance and just go to checkout. There have been a lot of changes over the Amazon. I will go and create the complete year-by-year breakdown. You definitely want to go and subscribe to see the Amazon evolution from day one to today. It's gonna be year by year and we're gonna see the biggest changes. For example, they have been actually having beta connection with Yellow Pages, which was something completely crazy. And that's something that I will show you in next video. But this is everything from this video. Hope you like it. Have a nice day and goodbye.